Welcome to today's episode of the Proper Property Podcast. On today's episode, we've got Alex Betts, who from running a family plumbing business to getting into property investment, he's now doing many different strategies in the property world. Welcome back to the Proper Property Podcast with me, Jonny. And today I've got a good friend of mine, Alex Betts.
How's it going, Jonny?
How's it going? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate the opportunity.
It's good. It's good. So we'll dive into it. We're going to talk about your journey, everything that you're up to, everything that you've done and everything that you're doing. So do you want to give people a quick introduction to yourself?
Yeah, so I'm from Sheffield, Bayton around Crystal Peaks, born and bred, lived there all my life. And then from leaving school, sort of got into trades. My dad, he was a gas engineer, had his own business. So we always, before I even left school, I always knew what we were going to do. So I joined him in the business. He taught me everything I know. And then as the years have gone by, that's kind of where I got into property, really. Well, I mean, I kind of guess everybody's always in property. But sort of, going to work and everything, obviously earning your money, the only way that I've realised that I've actually built any wealth, to be honest, is two personal properties that I've had, like actually building equity in them. So yeah, that's how I kind of got into property probably about 2-3 years ago. I just saw that, we mainly worked on new build sites, doing for like Avant homes, Gleeson homes, like all the really, really big builders. And then I kind of just saw it dying off. It sort of come just after COVID. COVID kind of messed it up a little bit, but then coming back out of COVID, it was still like kind of dying. And then I just thought like something's got to change here. If we sort of stay in the same field, it's not really going to be a good end. My dad employed basically all the family as well. So like we were all kind of relying on him.
So how many families there were always there in your family then?
So originally they were my dad, me, my little brother, my little cousin, my older cousin, my uncle.
Wow.
So very much family business.
That's good. I like that.
Oh, it's great. Everything's kept in family. We all, I've always been brought up that family is everything.
That's good. Do you find that having that trade is what's helped you become a property investor?
100%.
Yeah.
Obviously being in the trade, you've been in houses literally all day long. You're kind of already in property without being in property. Because like even when you're doing one trade, for example, I'm a gas engineer, you pick up other things along the way. Joinery, easy. You pick up tiling because you're doing bathrooms.
Joinery, easy. I'm sure there'll be some joiners watching too.
No. Obviously, like putting a stud wall up is not horrendous. Building a staircase, different story. Obviously, there's obviously levels to it, but putting skirting boards on and things like that. You pick a lot of things up along the way because I'm quite inquisitive as well. Like I'll sit there, I know quite a lot of trades on site, so like I'll go around and I'll, we used to get on with joiners, so I'd like sit there and just, all right, why'd you do it like this and why'd you do it like that, and then just sort of like pick bits up from all the different trades.
Yeah, and figure it out as you go along. I think that's pretty good, to be fair, because I know that's pretty much what I've done in property.
Yeah,
like you look at what other people do around you, what they've done. How they do it now, because you learn from the best, don't you? You learn from people who are actually doing it.
Reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your? I know in your content you do quite a lot with your daughter.
Yeah,
you're showing your daughter. Is your daughter? I presume your daughter is your biggest why. Is that why you're doing all this?
Yeah, hugely. My family is my biggest why. I do everything for my family. I always put everyone above myself. Sometimes to my own detriment, but
yeah,
that's it is what it is. But yeah, I've got 2 daughters. So my eldest is the one that has been on a couple of my videos. My youngest, she's only just turned 1, so she's not really, can't really take her out and about too much.
She's not taking off on TikTok yet.
Oh no, not yet. But yeah, they definitely are my biggest why. I absolutely love kids. I want many, many more in the future, hopefully.
Yeah. Are you sure? I've got 3. Three's the magic number.
Oh no, I want loads. I've got 2 daughters, and I need somebody to carry on the family name, so I need a boy yet.
Keep trying till you get a boy.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, good luck with that. So you what's your? And you've done quite a few different strategies.
Yep.
What's been your favourite strategy, and what's been your most testing strategy that you've actually done?
I'd probably so a favorite strategy to do, because as a family we've done it for years. Like even before we had like property businesses, is the flips. Like we love like stripping them all back out and just sort of like starting again. I find it quite frustrating getting in a property and only like light work needs doing. Like I just feel like we've not done anything.
Yeah.
You know, we get in some.
Damn, we ain't got to spend as much money on this.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like obviously you took the photos for our SA unit down at Prince Wales. You know, that started out a relatively light refurb, and as we got in, like it ended up being ripping out, walls coming out, steels going in, you know, bathrooms being added. That's just kind of how it goes with us, unfortunately.
And it is a top quality job that you've done on that as well.
Yeah.
And that you've done on your other properties that I've seen as well.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. No, doing what I do get to see a lot. And I do see a lot of these people who cut corners. Yeah. And it's very clear that they've cut corners. Like you can even tell from like skirting boards and even carpets. Like you can tell that they've bodged carpets in. Like, and you just think these little things are what makes such a massive difference.
It's what gives the landlords a bad name as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%. So going forward, I know, like you said, that you touched on that. How long have you done Airbnb? The Airbnbs?
So Prince Wales, that's been live for probably about 5-6 months, and then also you did as photography on a 2-bedroom flat that we've got that was running since August last year.
Yeah, and are you finding that strategy going? Are you going to be going forward with that strategy more, or?
I think a lot more red tape's coming in, so it's sort of like looking back and adjusting. I mean, it's great, obviously high cash flow, but it's also quite unpredictable, and we've had some unpredictable months. So all in all, it's doing pretty well. But I think we're pretty much slightly pivoting at the minute to more family buy-to-lets, because you know it's becoming more difficult with sort of like council tax and things like that if you've not got a permanent tenant in and different stuff like that. But yeah, we're more pivoting to the bread and butter buy-to-let, so that we can put like families in them, you know, people that actually need them, 2 and 3 bed terraced houses.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things, because lately, especially with the Renters' Rights Act, we've had a lot of landlords coming to us wanting to turn their properties into serviced accommodation or Airbnb. They feel like that's the only way out now. That secures them. And in fairness, yeah, that's right. But there is a part of me that's making it. I'm noticing that there's going to be less properties available for families, and therefore, if on a road there's more Airbnbs than there is actual properties to rent,
yeah,
the only way that that's going to go is that rents increase even more because properties become more scarce to live in, and I just think it is going to have a detrimental effect on the economy, to be fair. So I know coming from me that sounds quite bad, because we've got quite a lot of Airbnbs, but I do feel like something does need to be done. I do think I know the red tape is going to make things more difficult for us, but I think that it needs to happen. I do think like with the HMOs, and you've got Article 4,
yeah,
I think if they do bring in something similar for Airbnbs and serviced accommodation, I think it'd be a good thing, personally. I think it is needed.
I agree.
I think we are going to run out of properties for people to live in because of the government. The government has pushed it to make it so hard for landlords that landlords are looking for these other ways, and a lot of the answer has been Airbnb.
Certainly. I mean, like I say, with the way everything's going with Renters' Right Bill, and you know, people not being able to pay and stay harder to get people out of your properties if they're not paying. You know, it's going to be very, very difficult for landlords in the future, but I still think it's kind of like an obligation in a way that, like, if people like me and you don't have houses to rent for private people, you know, you're just going to be sort of at the beck and call of these like giant corporations that, you know, you're just going to be a number on the tick sheet, and, you know, rent increases will come and stuff like that. And I don't think they're going to be sort of like going along with all this new renters, right? They're going to be getting some hard passes on some of that stuff. So yeah, and you know, it's more about they don't really care about the actual tenants. We've just had a young mother of 4 children that's moved into a 3-bed semi that we've got in Bayton. You know, and she's gone to council, and they just don't want to know. They're not really interested whatsoever. She had a property that were flooded out at the beginning of the year. It took 8 weeks for the landlord to even do anything. So she's been in Airbnbs. Then they found asbestos. But, you know, we got that property ready for her and got her moved in probably about 2 weeks ago. But usually people just don't care.
Yeah. And stuff like that you talked about, landlords get such a bad rep. I think there's that old school mindset.
Yeah.
And people seem to be stuck in past as to landlords are greedy people. And it's not that the landlords are greedy, it's that the economy and the government have changed it and made it more difficult for them. And with mortgage rates, and people think a lot of landlords own all the properties outright. Yeah. When they've got mortgages on them and they've got increased mortgage rates, the only option they've got is to put the rent up. It's not them putting the rent up, it's them just surviving. I think on a lot of buy-to-lets as well, a lot of landlords don't really make the money until they sell, and they make it off the capital. Because I think I spoke to quite a few landlords recently, and they're probably making about £200-300 a month. Yeah. One boiler goes in that year, that's your profit gone.
100%.
It's disappeared. £3,000 for a boiler. That's all your profit for that year gone. So it's not profitable in that way, but there is capital growth, and that's where you get your equity at the end. But I think a lot of people do judge landlords wrongly, and I think something needs to change with that. I know we spoke very briefly before. You're in my Men in Property group.
Yep.
And I think it'd be quite a good opportunity for someone else, because I know I talk about it quite a lot. If you want to just have a quick talk about your experience in Men in Property, maybe not talk too much about the last night out that we had. Leave a couple of details out.
Definitely. I mean, it's a fantastic group, because I mean, I haven't really found a group like this before. You know, we have a hell of a lot of group for women, which is fantastic. But then there's not really many for men, especially like where other men are looking out for each other. And I think this is where Men in Property sort of like come in this year for me, especially at the beginning of the year. Like, you know, that night out, I really needed that night out. And, you know, it's just a great group of people. I mean, you know, there's you, Rich. I mean, Rich messages me all the time. So it's really got me sort of like back out there, and actually like wanting to help other people again. And, you know, it's done a lot for me. I mean, we went out on that night out. God, I mean, that were what a wild night. But yeah, there's just not that many. It's more about the mental health. Like, I know in the group you push a lot about like men's mental health and things like that, because like people just don't talk to each other. You know, as men, we've got these egos and pride, and you know, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm fine, and it's just not really good. But you know, that's where your group comes in and really makes a difference.
I think as men, like you touched on there, that we do feel like we've got this ego, and I think a lot of men feel like it's a competition. Like I've noticed that there is a lot of women groups. There's a lot of women that help other women. There's a lot of men that help other women, but there's not many men that help each other. It feels like we're all in competition, but I think that does need to change, and I think it will if we keep pecking away at it. I think we'll get there. We'll make a change. But
I think the competition is good. I just think it's, what type of competition is it? Is it competition where you're putting the other person down, or is it competition where like you're doing good, I'm going to do better, and then it's like a healthy competition?
Yeah, that's healthy. Yeah, if it's like, oh, look at what they're doing, I want to be there, or I want to try and do better than them. That's healthy. I get that. But I think when there's a lot of people. I mean, not even in Men in Property, but in general, I think in the property industry, in the investment industry, there's a lot of people talking bad about other people for no reason, making things up, and social media, it's just had such an effect on what's real and what isn't, and it's so difficult to to actually tell these days. I remember I was thinking about it the other day. Years ago, my granddad got his first computer, and I remember someone rung him up and said, "Oh, like I'm from BT or whatever, and I just need access to your computer. Can you give me details, numbers on back of your computer, so that I can get on it?" And he did. He knew no better. And I'm like, them scams, what were happening then, are happening daily on social media now.
100%.
Like scams like that, like just doing people over, selling them false information, making out that they can make them millionaires this time next year if they buy this £5,000-10,000 course.
Yeah,
it's just it's scams used to be like shocking to hear.
Yeah,
and I think it's just become normality now. Like, oh, you got scammed. Like, oh well, like it happens.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gets brushed under the carpet these days.
It really does. I mean, like you said, social media, like the perception of things, like even sort of like looking at some of my own stuff, like I've got a lot of things going off, but it's nobody sees like the issues underneath it. Like everyone thinks that you've got it all together, but like nobody sees the daily issues that you're actually going through.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like these courses and that, God, I mean, it's like everyone just popping up everywhere. And then you're like, well, hang on a minute, like 12 months ago, like I'm pretty sure I saw you at that night out where you like just started, like what, you're a millionaire already, are you?
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, it's more like you've gone on ChatGPT, you've got it to create yourself a course.
Yeah.
And because you know how to do some fancy video editing, you're a guru.
Yeah.
And you could sell a course for £10,000, and then that's where the actual money comes from. That's why they've got money in the first place.
Yeah.
But then there's no real answers. You go into these places and you're paying all this money, but then when you're actually going to get the answers that you need, they're sort of not there. They're just like, yeah, this is how you go out and get the answers.
You've got to pay for that next tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a course on that, but that's £3,000. Yeah. And then, you want to talk about that? That's another £2,000.
I think this is where like places like Men in Property come in, because like you've got so many people at like different stages where it's like you don't necessarily need to pay for a course. Obviously your business partner Luke, he runs a service accommodation company with you. I mean, why go and pay for a course where like if you're in the group you could just ask some questions, because then it's like if I get a property and I want to do that stuff, I could bring it to you to manage it. And it's sort of like you don't, as long as everyone's winning, you don't really need to just pay for.
Yeah. I'm a kinetic learner. I don't know about you, but one of the things with me is I need to do it to learn it. So going on a course and talking about it and writing it all down, that's all well and good. But I need to actually do it. I'd rather do it and fail than learn about it and never do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather keep failing, and then eventually I'll be like, shit, that didn't work. I'm not doing that again. That worked. I'll do that. And that's all that we've done. All we've ever done is we've just jumped straight in, tried it and gone, shit, we won't do that again. Or we've gone, boom, that works. Stay in that lane. And that's it. And that's what we're doing. At the minute, we've got a first purchase lease option that we're doing.
Yeah.
I've never done one in my life. I've never been on a course. I've never paid anyone to tell me what to do in a purchase lease option. We've just agreed one. We're doing it. And now I'm just talking with solicitors and working it out. Like the solicitors are telling me what you do. And this is what you do. And like these are the fees and this is what you need to be doing to get land registry and this and that. Like they're giving me the information and I'm doing it. I'm not going on a course and they're going, oh, well, if you do this and all you need to do is pay them £1. Oh, fuck it, that does my head in that.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking pound.
No.
I think we're about 11 grand in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Solicitors' fees, contracts drawn up, everything.
And because we've turned it into an Airbnb, we're chucking like 7 grand into it as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a pound.
No. I agree with you in terms of like learning as well. Like it's more, you've got to do it yourself. People say like you can learn from other people, but I think that the only teacher is real experience.
100%. But it's good to have that network.
100%.
I'm a massive believer in your network, and I know the old saying, network's your net worth, but it couldn't be so much more true. It really is. It's the people around you.
I mean, like, from your group and then other groups as well. I did pay for a course when I first went into property, and to be honest, it was the best thing that I've ever did. More on like the personal development side of things.
I think it were a business one.
It were a property one, like
property.
a business and property, but it more like business and mindset. By far the best thing I've ever done, and like the coaches that I got out for it, and the people that I met through it, I've got sort of like from that network, I've got more millionaires in my phone that I can call up at any time that are more than happy to give me absolutely anything that I ask for in terms of information and guidance, than I could have otherwise. So it was definitely worth it in that sense for me. But you've just got to find the right ones.
Yeah, it's so hard. I have people asking me all the time, like what's the right courses to do? What's the right people to be? And I ain't got an answer, to be fair. And I think as well, I wouldn't really want to recommend any because it's dependent on the work you're going to put in.
Yeah.
So you could go on a course and think that it's just going to get given to you, that you don't have to actually do any of the work, and therefore you don't get anything out of it, and then you just complain that it didn't work.
Yep.
Whereas same person could go on a course, put all the work and effort in and succeed and think it's the best course ever.
I think it's also a mindset as well. Like some groups are like a bit more different, nuanced than others in terms of like the way that they teach you. So like the place where I went, like I absolutely loved it. It was perfect for me. But then I know other people that like it just didn't work for them.
Yeah.
So like it's very much sort of like fitting like what your personality is and how you learn as well. Like I go into everything with really open minded. I'm like looking for answers. Whereas other people, if you already sort of got that perception of these courses that they're very negative, like you're going to go into everyone and see that everyone's a scam and bad.
Yeah.
When some you could actually find some gold out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So, have you ever raised private finance?
Yeah. So I mean, me and my business partner sat in room. We got a JV partner again from like one of the networks that we were in, where we were doing this course. She's like an overseas investor, so she lives over in Italy, and she's basically provided the finance, which got us his first HMO conversion.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Did you find that having the trade behind you helped you to raise that finance?
100%. Yes. It's sort of like me and my business partner. This is where we like complement each other because he's more like the professional side of things and like the technology side of things, whereas I'm useless with that sort of stuff. That's why he does all my content.
Yeah. And he does a really good job as well.
Oh, very good job.
Give him a plug. Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. What is it? Chapter 4, isn't it? Yeah, chapter 4. So yeah, anybody who wants any of that stuff, like go straight to him.
And it is really good content. It is good.
100%. Amazing at storytelling and things like that. Because like, it seems like I've actually got a good story to tell, but I don't know how to tell it. So that's where he comes in.
Yeah. And I think that's important as well. You do need other people around you to help you to tell your story. Because in your mind, you might not think that it's something to talk about or brag about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it really is. You've done really well and you're doing really well and you're actually doing stuff. There's a lot of people out there who they can talk a good game, but they're not actually doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just so, like I said, it's this social media world. Can't get around it. Like how easy it is to pretend.
Yeah.
But you're actually doing it.
Yeah, I think it's more the people around you that like actually care about you, and like you can't see in yourself sometimes like the things that like other people see in you. So sometimes you need that other person to bring it out.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where that comes in.
I find that I feel like a lot of the things I do, because I've done them for so long now, it's just easy and it's second nature. So therefore, I don't think it's valuable.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, oh, I can sort that in like an hour. And then, so I'll think like, oh, it's not that valuable. But like, within that hour, it'd probably take someone else 2 months to do that same thing that would take me an hour. So that's where the value is.
Probably me, it takes 2 months to do it.
It is, yeah. I think we do. I think it's an entrepreneur thing. I think we do beat ourselves up a lot and we don't appreciate ourselves enough.
I think that just kind of comes with being people who want to be better. Like, value yourself enough that like you're doing a good job, but at the same time, like we're always looking for the next thing. So in a way, you're never really going to be satisfied, and you're always going to think that you kind of worse than you are.
Yeah.
But then it's sort of like the other people and the recognition that kind of, you know, level it back out.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that. I think you need that to drive you, though.
Yeah.
I've always had this thing, like, I've always said to myself, ever since I started business, all I ever talk about is the Porsche 911. Like, if you see on my social media, that's all I ever talk about. Because, like, even though that's a materialistic thing, I've got to have that goal.
Yeah.
That is the goal. But the goal isn't the car.
No.
The goal is that I'm at that level of owning that car, affording that car, being able to run that car, and having that lifestyle with it. Because having that car, I'm not going to live in a 3-bed semi-council house with a Porsche 911 on front. So I'm going to have a nice house, and I'm going to be able to look after my kids and my family, and it's everything that comes with that. But the easiest way for me in my brain to drive myself is to say, right, go and get that car.
Yeah.
And then once you've got that car, well, I probably won't even get the car. It'll probably get to the point where I've got enough money in bank to buy multiple Porsche 911s, and I probably don't even buy a single one because I'm like, I don't want that car.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get here.
It's more the person who you had to become to get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, in regards to the HMO, did you keep the HMO?
Yeah, we still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you finding that?
I think they're not all what they used to be cracked up to be. You know, we probably like sort of 8 years ago. I'm not saying they're bad, but like sort of 8 years ago, your property prices were like 40, 50k down. Your build prices before COVID were sort of like 40, 50k down. So like you could be buying these HMOs and getting them on commercial reevaluations, and you could be getting all your money out plus 20, 30k on top after paying your investor, and then they cash flowing you like £1,500 a month. I mean, why wouldn't you go and raise £1 million to do 10?
Yeah.
But like now, you sort of 40, 50, 60k left in, and that's if everything goes right. So then you're kind of constantly servicing the debt as well. But then now you've got a 6-bedroom, 6 ensuite property that you've got a valuation on at like nearly 500 grand because it's producing 50,000 rent a year. So your mortgage is like what, 375,000, where next door is a 3-bedroom terraced house selling for 200.
Yeah.
So like that whole
the
thing,
bricks and mortar valuation in the commercial valuation.
no, so that whole thing for me is kind of like what sort of put me off a bit, really. This is why we sort of been like potentially looking at pivoting strategies, either still going for HMOs but going more in different areas where like the bricks and mortar valuation is a lot closer to the actual commercial valuation. So, you know, places like down towards London, you know, where that type of building is going to be worth 500k anyway, but the building's already there, so you don't have to put extensions on and things like that. You're just sort of reconfiguring inside, so your refurb's obviously a lot less.
Yeah.
So that's a potential way to go. It's either that or like going in like a lot cheaper areas, to be honest, where, you know, there's like, I mean, I saw one come up over day in sort of like, you know, the Lincolnshire area, where you've got like 5-bed HMOs, but they're selling for like 140k. Well, I mean, they're kind of worth it because you're going to be making your thousands.
Even your bricks and mortar valves.
I feel much more comfortable with a £100,000 mortgage than a £350,000 mortgage.
Yeah.
And sort of still making roughly the same, maybe a little bit, £200 cash flow less a month.
Is it in an Article 4 area or?
No, it's not. It's just outside. No, it's a little bit outside Article 4 area.
Right.
Mainly because obviously like planning and stuff like that. We being as first one, we didn't want anything to go wrong. 6 beds, it's obviously permitted development. So that's just the way that the route that we went. You know, maybe we'll do some in Article 4 or buy some existing ones. But you know, we've obviously then got to either raise more money or look at how we can increase the value to be able to pull it back out on back end.
One of the things with HMOs that pisses me off is these people who buy these 3-bed terraces and turn them into 6-bed, all en suite, like absolutely extending.
Yeah.
Or like I know that there's the limits on the sizes of the rooms.
Yep.
But like literally being just on the limits.
Yeah.
And you're like, fucking hell, like you've got to think about these people, like they've got to live there, like they're not sardines.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I think this is where like individual ethics comes in. Because although I want to make money in property, this is where like when we were actually looking for that property initially, it was like we went to a few houses because we were like doing a little bit of searching and finding in like these areas. And we went to one property and it was basically brand new inside. And we were just like, we don't even want to put an offer in because this is good for a family. Like we can't bring ourselves to take this off the market, to rip it to bits, to turn it into an HMO. So like that's why we'd go for like ones that were literally so run down, but like, let's say max ceiling value is 200k, but it's up for like 170. Like but no normal person is really going to buy that to actually turn it back because it needs 40 grand spending on it to turn it back into a family home. And no investor's going to buy it because they're not going to want it for 170. They're going to want it for 130 to be able to make the gap on it. So we were mainly looking for properties where like a normal person's not going to buy it, and an investor's not going to buy it for a flip. So it's never going to be used for a normal house again. It's just that run down. And that's where we kind of just like, look, we're not going to take these good houses off the market. We only want these ones that are wrecked.
Yeah.
So I've got a plumbing and gas heating company that I employ pretty much all my family in it again.
There's a common theme running here.
Well, yeah.
Cheap labour.
No, just people you can trust.
Yeah, that is everything. And we said this before. I know we were talking about finding videographers. I've been looking for videographers for my business. And it's so difficult to find people you can trust. And obviously, you can trust your family, can't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad went through a bit of a hard time in his business a couple of years ago. Like one of the main builders that we were working for pretty much shut down, went into liquidation, and took him for a hell of a lot of money. So when I kind of like saw a little bit of it coming, like when it was getting a bit more difficult. But obviously, I mean, he had like 14 lads working for him and things like this. So like when you're in that stage, like you can't just back out and shut everything down immediately. You're already invested in. Like they were owing him like £250,000 and stuff like that. So that's when I set my own stuff up. Again, come hand in hand with property. So like going into the property, the networks that I got involved in, this is where then I actually went into doing all the plumbing and heating in these properties. So like most of the stuff that I've been doing for the last 18 months is HMO conversions, going in, putting in all the heating, all the domestic and heating pipe work, and then doing all second fix as well. And that's sort of like I can actually give back to him. He's not had to go out and get a job and work for somebody else.
That's good.
So, and then like, my dad's my hero. You know what I mean? So he's looked after me forever, and he's given me my trade. He's given me my ethics. My love for my family. So it's more just about looking after him.
I love that. So have you got any projects coming up, or what are you on with at the minute?
What with the plumbing and heating?
Are you? Because I know last time, well, a few months ago we spoke. You were a bit torn in between because obviously your business is cash flow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your business is your bread and butter. And I think a lot of people don't understand this as well. Like you can have a multi-million-pound portfolio, but you still need cash flow. And I think I know so many people who've got multi-million-pound portfolios, but there's nothing covering daily expenses. And I know that when we spoke, you were saying about investing more into your business to then eventually invest more into property. And is that where you're at now? Have you invested more into your business and you're pushing the business more to then eventually buy more properties going down the line?
I'm pretty much at that point still now. So like you said, we like we've got an Airbnb, we've got buy to lets, but because you're always sort of looking for the next project until you've got like enough projects where like you can be using the cash flow while still funding the next one. You kind of, I mean, I'm 2 years in property and I've still not really took any money out of the profit of the properties because we're just reinvesting it. So it's a long-term thing, as everybody knows. Anyway. Yeah. So like you say, the cash flow side of it is where the plumbing and heating company comes in. So this is where I'm wanting to really, really push it and grow it. So again, I've been on, one of these type of courses, with Trade Mastermind down in Peterborough. absolutely fantastic in terms of like teaching you about business, and this is what they do. The owner, he originally had his own gas and heating company, which he was like I think he was the number one like independent in the UK. Like obviously you've got your British Gas and your big ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he were nationwide. He were insane, and he actually sold it in the end. So this is what like they're actually teaching me to do. So like sort of like being dressed a bit smart. Obviously, I look a bit more.
It looks good.
Yeah,
branding.
A bit more like a professional rather than just like coming in my work trousers and a polo top.
And I'm here in my shorts today.
It's not wrong. So yeah, they've just been teaching me about like actual like brand recognition. Getting like I've got my FCA, so like I can offer finance to people and stuff like that. I've got like my professional website designed. I've got my lead generation ready, so I can go into like Facebook adverts and start pulling like actually making it like a proper business. And that's mainly to top. So I'm building that sort of like separately to like the HMO side. The HMO side, like I can leave all my family on there, and it's paying everyone's bills. But then to actually start investing back into property, this is where I want to build like a boiler installation company. / bathroom company. Obviously do one first, and then once the system's down, the CRM's down, we've got all the people on the phones ready, we've got all the engineers in place, then we'll start branching out into different products, air conditioning, bathrooms, air source heat pumps, things like that. And then I want to really, really build it purely to just invest it back into property, and then use property for what it's supposed to be, which is a store of wealth rather than wealth creation.
Yeah. 100%.
And then hopefully sell the company eventually. So probably in about 5 years, the exit plan is to have it built up to a point where I can get, like high 6-figure, low 7-figure exit.
Yeah, awesome. I think that is the goal. And it is, a lot of people go into even business, property's business, but they go into business thinking that it's instant money. You're going to have that money every month. You're going to have that cash flow, but you make your money at end.
Yep.
That's it. In business, you make your money when you sell the business.
Yeah, and this is the kind of difficult part for me at the minute, because I'm 30. I've got young kids, and I'm thinking long term. And like in the property, I've got my dad as a business partner in one of the businesses that we've got, like the Airbnb and stuff like that. So, but he's at the end of his working life. So like I'm sat there like pushing like long-term things, but like it's not benefiting him at all. So this is where like I need to bridge the gap so that he can get the benefit, because at the end of the day, I've got the rest of my life. Like I can enjoy it later. So it's more about trying to get him sorted so that he can retire when he wants. Well, sooner rather than later, to be honest. I don't want to have him on tools where it's me who kills him.
Don't want that on your conscience.
Oh no, definitely not. So yeah, this is where I'm trying to bridge the gap, because like you said, like it's all right having properties, but you've got to have the cash flow, otherwise you're just kind of working, and it's going to be 10, 15, 20 years before you actually see anything produced out of it.
Yeah, 100%. So do you want to plug your business, where people can find you if they need you?
Yeah, so it's Vital Build Plumbing and Heating. I've got a business page that's just Vital Build on Facebook. There's also I've got a professional website, vital-build.uk. So if anybody wants to check us out, anybody needs any services completing in the house, we do offer. We don't just offer like boilers and bathrooms. We offer a range of different things, and also we do partner with different builders. So if anybody like in natural property has got in sort of like the Midlands area, they're doing a HMO conversion, they're building a full house, they're doing flip refurbs. I'm connected with 2 builders that I work very closely with, and we do all projects together.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on, Alex.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Nice one. Well, thank you for listening to the Proper Property Podcast. I've been Jonny, and this has been Alex. Thank you.